The talking, nagging, lucha watching, puro viewing, indie supporting, drinking, cursing son of a gun of a podcast. Join former pro wrestler and promoter Dave Dynasty and co-host Ike Isaacs as they talk wrestling and interview those within the business, bringing positivity back to pro wrestling. This is the Dave Dynasty Show.
And welcome to the Dave Dynasty Show. This is your host, Dave Dynasty. Thank you for joining us this week, however you do, whether it be iTunes, SoundCloud, or YouTube. And however you do, please rate, review, like, follow, all that stuff. Give us a share. And if you listen to us on iTunes, rate and review us. That helps us. I am Dave Dynasty, and I am flying solo this week. We apologize. The past couple weeks, we know things have kind of gotten out a little later than usual. Lots of stuff going on. Ike is in the process of moving. He will join us later in our interview, but he's not here at the moment. He got real life stuff going on, but he will be back next week on the show. But for now, you just got me, and we've been talking a lot about the podcast, and we think one thing we're going to do is a lot heavier emphasis on the show pertaining to the Midwest and Indiana wrestling and wrestlers and their connections and the history. We've had a lot of success with the legends of Indiana wrestling, so we're gonna build on that. And you guys seem to like those things. We have another one coming out this week. Great interview with Rip Rogers. You guys are gonna love this one. So yeah, we're gonna build on that and really kind of hit hard and heavy and cover and give us that unique approach to the business. Not a lot of things out there covering the Indiana wrestling scene in the Midwest, but there's a lot of great stuff here. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna lean heavy on that. That's not to say we won't have other interviews with other guys. We will, but yeah, that's where our emphasis is gonna be. But anyway. We have a great interview today with Ox Harley, a Southern wrestler, guy I worked with and known for many, many years. He tells a lot of great stories about his time in the business and some of his travels. So, yeah, check that out. Make sure you share it. We also have new wisdom from Mance Warner. Should be great. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Ike Isaacs will have the interview with Ox Harley. So stick around.
Visit LuchaMaskUSA.com for official high-quality Lucha masks and merchandise, straight from the luchadors themselves. They have a huge and always growing inventory, so check back often. That's LuchaMaskUSA.com.
And welcome back to the Dave Dynasty Show. Today, we have a fantastic guest, someone who's been around the block a couple times but knows everything there is to know. Ox Harley, how are we doing today, my friend?
Oh, we're doing good, buddy. I'm sitting out here in East Tennessee on the back of the deck, grilling out a few steaks and drinking a couple cold beers.
Hey, nothing better than that, right?
That's right.
That's pretty good weather, too. We're finally we're in the clear from all that snowy crap and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, it doesn't snow much here, so, I mean, it's off and on rain, though.
Oh, well, hey.
It's off and on rain, yeah.
Better than the cold. All right, man. Well, let's go ahead and get into this. So, as always, when we do these interviews, the first question we always ask everyone, it seems, is when did wrestling hook you?
What? What'd you say?
Well, I said, when did wrestling hook you? When did you really think that wrestling was the best thing ever?
Well, actually, man, I never was a wrestling fan or anything growing up. I always wanted to be a pro boxer, and I'd won a Tough Man contest, and I called the eye of some wrestling promoters, and they asked me had I ever thought about getting in the ring, and I thought, well, man, I'll give it a shot, and I asked them what they was paying me, and I went ahead and give it a shot. And first couple of times, I didn't care much for the wrestling, and I went back trying to do some boxing, and I got a pro fight. And you got to keep in mind now, I'm just a redneck boy from Nebo, Kentucky, 6'4", 255 pounds, and back then, I was in real good shape, just fresh out of high school. And, you know, I thought I was going to be the next Great White Hope. I was going to be the heavyweight champion of the world, and I got a pro fight, and I went to Louisville, and they put me in with this big black guy. He had like, I think he was 4-0, and it was my pro debut, and I'll never forget, they told me it was $200 if you win and $75 a round, and it was a 4-round fight. So you could if you win all 4 rounds and you won, you'd make $500. But anyway, make a long story short, the ref got us out there, went over instructions, the bell rang, and the next thing I know, I was back in the corner on the stool. I'd been knocked graveyard out, so I decided right there that I didn't think boxing, you know, like I said, I never was a trained boxer or anything, you know. I'd won a tough man contest, and all I did really is I just whooped a bunch of drunks and stuff that people had been dared to get in it. I wasn't no trained boxer by no means, and so I decided, you know, I'd give wrestling another shot, and I've been stuck there ever since.
And so you've been doing it for a minute too. I know that you've been wrestling, and now you do promotions as well. That's more of what your speed is now, because I don't know how much you wrestle anymore.
Well, I wrestled from full time from 1992 to 2014.
Okay.
And then, you know, I got injured. You know, my back's bad. I've had back surgery, and now I've got a pinched nerve in my neck. And buddy, the only thing I know is the wrestling business. You know, and I've been, you know, I've wrestled all over, and I've helped. I've booked a lot of shows over the years, and I helped guys get out and promote. And when I got hurt and I couldn't wrestle anymore, I was kind of worried, but you know, I had to be able to pay the bills some way. So the only thing I knew to do was, you know, was to run my own wrestling shows, and then I've been doing that pretty successful. You know, for I just come on my 3rd year. You know, so yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I had 2 shows this past weekend, Friday and Saturday. Both did real well.
Oh, right on. That's good to hear, though. So we're gonna rewind time a little bit here. So when you first started wrestling, when you first got in the ring, who was it that began training you, and when was that?
Well, you know, I started, you know, when I started wrestling, there wasn't wrestling schools. You know, you just somebody had to let you in the business, and you know, I was passed back and forth between 2 and 3 guys, and I ended up Gator McAllister. He played a big hand in teaching me, you know, a lot of the basic bumps and everything. And I worked a lot for Shelby Adcock in Central City, Kentucky. Then I went on and worked a lot for Dale Mann, and then I did all the little Nashville outlaw shows, and then I eventually I went to I made it to IWA Mid South, and I got lucky, and Ian put me in the ring with a lot of stars, and for some reason, man, I don't know why, but a lot of the big names liked me, and they took a liking to me, and I hung out with a lot of them, traveled with a lot of them, and buddy, that's when I really started learning the business. I mean, you learn a whole lot more about this business listening than you ever do talking. And when you're riding down the roads with the likes of Dangerous Doug Gilbert and Tommy Wildfire Rich, and and Tracy Smothers and people like that, I mean, you learn just so much.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as we were talking about, you are a part of the independent wrestling scene right now, because you run a promotion. So, you know, independent wrestling is actually really awesome right now. I think it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger as we go on in the years. So, tell us what your opinions are about the best and the worst parts of being a part of independent wrestling.
Well, you know, it's a struggle. The struggle is that independent wrestling, little outlaw promotions, they've been around for years and years. And when you go to a town and you look into going to the town, you'll find out that there's been 60 or 70 little promotions that's come in and went through, and a lot of them's left bad taste in people's mouth, you know, and I have a hard time, you know, dealing with a lot of towns, you know, that's just down on wrestling. But you know, right now I believe, you know, just by looking at the numbers, and I'm no wrestling fan. I don't watch wrestling on TV or anything. So I mean, but I mean, like I say, it's all I know. But yeah, I don't watch it, but I do keep up with, you know, some of the stuff on Facebook, and I see, you know, pictures and stuff, and it looks like to me that the business is back booming again. You know, I remember Doug Gilbert always told me that wrestling come in 10 and 15-year cycles, that it'd be good for 10 or 15 years, and it'd be down for 2 or 3 years, and it'd be good for another 10 or 15 years, you know. And I believe we're a good part of the cycle right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I think wrestling is on the uptake now because you have a lot of diversity right now in, like, the bigger promotions, you know, your WWEs, your Ring of Honors and such. But also you have a lot of fresh talent just coming out of everywhere, which is fantastic. But absolutely. So now we're going to talk a little bit about you as a wrestler. So like we said, you've been around the block a couple times. You know what wrestling is. That's all, like you said, that's all you know is wrestling. So
yeah,
you've been known as a hardcore or deathmatch wrestler, but you describe yourself more as a Southern Smash Mouth. So tell us a little bit about your style and your past doing these kinds of matches.
Well, buddy, just to be honest with you, I did whatever it took to get paid, and whatever made the most money at the time. You know, I wasn't a handsome man, and I mean, I could do Southern style wrestling for the normal $40-50 payday back in the early '90s, or you know, I could do hardcore wrestling for anywhere from $300 to $500 a night in the '90s. So it didn't take rocket scientists to figure out which way to go. Now that I'm 43 years old, and looking back on it, back surgery later, and all the aches and pains, you know, I'm not sure that I did make the right decision. But you know, to everybody their own. You know, if it hadn't been, if I hadn't made my mark in the early '90s doing hardcore wrestling, thank God I had veterans talk me into getting out of it. You know, pretty quick. I mean, I did it strong. You know, I was one of the first one of the guys that did it in the United States, and I did it strong for 3 or 4 years. You know, then I kind of backed back and went back to the wrestling part that I knew. You know, the Southern style wrestling, and saved what body I had left. But yeah, I mean, I myself, I don't promote any kind of hardcore wrestling or any kind of deathmatch wrestling. You know. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, you know, but it's just not my cup of tea, and it's just not my demographic. It's not what my fans, you know, want to see.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's kind of an understandable position to have. Oftentimes, people like critics and people who look at wrestling as a whole, they definitely are very harsh towards death matches, I believe, and I think rightfully so for the most part, because like you said, it can be pretty. It can be dangerous, and it can be pretty harsh on the body, definitely. But
well, do you know any that's not crippled up yet?
Yeah, exactly.
I think really, yeah, you know, yeah.
But so like we said, you've probably had, you know, hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of matches where you've done every which style of wrestling. Like you said, you kind of had that moment where you were, okay, I need to do what's making the money, which is the death match wrestling. But then you had to move on to things that were probably better for your body and your health. So what would you say is the wildest match that you've ever competed in?
Oh wow, man! Let's see, Lord. I used to tell everybody back in the early '90s when Ian Rotten started IWA. Any match he could think of, he would throw me and Pondo in it as guinea pigs. And if we survived it, the winner, we got to wrestle him in it the next week. You'd put him over in it. So, but yeah, oh man, he'd come up with some of the craziest stuff. I mean, cactuses rubbing alcohol, Lord, I mean, I just couldn't. It's just unbelievable. Piranhas, you name it, I just about done everything. I did just about everything but take a bullet in the ring. You know, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously, in terms of injuries, I know we're talking about right now that you've had some back problems, and you said you have a pinched nerve in your neck. But other than those, perhaps, what's the worst injury you've ever sustained from a match?
And I bragged about it, and Lord, anybody that knows me and was around me, I'd always make sure I told everybody, I wrestled for a living for 23 years and never actually was hurt physically in the ring. I mean, I've had some stitches put in my hands where, I got hung up in barbed wire, and I broke my elbow doing a moonsault to the concrete floor at IWA. That's one of the big reasons how I got a job with Ian. But besides that, everything's been good. I had a good career, as far as injuries, but time, Father Time's undefeated.
Absolutely. So we kind of talked about a little bit here during all these questions about how you have your own promotion, and
yes,
your
sir.
promotion is called Mid-South Wrestling Association, correct? Yeah.
People don't want, they take the shortcut now. So Wrestling Association, we're right there on Facebook, and anybody feel free to check us out. We run a little monthly show in Rockwood, Tennessee at the National Guard Armory, then I do a few spot shows here and there.
Oh, right on. So, definitely, doing a promotion like that and running a promotion can be probably pretty difficult. So, tell us about MSWA and what your style of product is.
Well, I primarily focus on the 80s and 90s style of wrestling, maybe like what you've seen in Memphis wrestling in the 80s and 90s. I use just about all the legends, When you've been in the wrestling business as long as I have, you make a lot of friends, and I bring a lot of my, I guess, it might be the buddy system, but I bring a lot of my friends in, and there are people that the crowd wants to see. But, I got a couple good guys that come out of Georgia that do a little high flying and stuff, but, I tell everybody that works for me, I don't expect you to go out there and kill yourself. I just want you to, make these people leave happy and be talking about NSWA wrestling the next day.
Absolutely. So, and you guys actually ran a. So I hope I'm saying this right. It's an
yes,
IPPV.
it was our show back on March the 4th. It was the live event. It just aired on Fight TV on the Fight app this last Saturday. Matter of fact, you can still catch it in the replay. It's only $9.99 on Fight. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was there. The Rock and Roll Express. I mean, just Chase Owens. He's an unbelievable talent. Does a lot of work in New Japan. King Shane Williams. He become the champion. He's a great talent. It's a fantastic show. I recommend anybody checking it out and watching it right there on the Fight app.
Oh, right on. So, so with doing that, how is that doing for you? Is that I'm assuming that's probably making you quite a bit of money. Is that like a pretty good venture?
I do know this. I know that the guy that I have filming, he also is on the media department for Middle Tennessee State University, and they happened to make it to the NCAA tournament, which delayed all the editing and everything. So my show had to be pushed back a couple of weeks from the original air date. And, I talked to Fight about some of the numbers, and he told me the pre-sales on the pay-per-view were extremely well, that usually a pay-per-view's pre-sale buy rate is somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 50, and I was in upwards of 100 to 150. And I don't know exactly what the sales are right now, but maybe it'll be enough for a couple steak dinners anyway.
Yeah. Right on. Well, Definitely. So, and it sounds like your promotion's doing pretty good, though. It sounds like you got some pretty good talent that comes through there. So, definitely awesome stuff. So, I'm sure with your promotion, I don't know how much you leave the Tennessee area, but I know that you personally have traveled probably all over the United States. So, where was the most?
Oh yeah.
Where was the most exciting place that you ever wrestled?
Oh man, I hate to say it, and it sounds kind of crazy, but anybody that knows me knows I didn't always live right in my wrestling career. So a lot of places was just, a blur. I remember a lot of bars. I was in a lot of bars at a lot of places. But, yeah, man, it's some wild experiences I had. I mean, I've had some wild experiences. Actually, if anybody's ever watched Madman Pondo shoot video, he talks about how me and him was involved in a stabbing one time in Cleveland, Ohio for Cleveland All Pro Wrestling. If I said and told you I've seen it all, I'd be lying, but I tell you, I've sure seen a whole lot. Anyway. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I've been there and been everywhere, just anywhere anybody would have me. And most of the time when I got in the territory, I stayed in the territory for a long time. I left IWA and I came through, did a couple tours through Tennessee. Then I went to work for Baptist Bone Wrestling in Kentucky and helped Joe Bailey do the books for a lot of years. And I left him, and after that I went to Jerry Wilson's Hoosier Pro Wrestling, and I was there and helped Jerry do his books and stuff for, I guess, at least 10, 12 years. And then, I ended up here in East Tennessee, and I've been here ever since. So I tell everybody my wrestling career was like a firework, man. It shot up in the air real quick and blew up real pretty, and so it took me another 15 years to slowly drift back down to the earth. Yeah.
Definitely. So, I mean, first of all, it sounds like you've had obviously you have a lot of experience. You've been quite a bit. You traveled a lot. So, and I'm sure you've probably ridden along with a lot of people. Like you said earlier, you've rode around with some of the greats. So, can you tell us a funny road story about when you were traveling?
Let's see. I try to think of one that's not going to get somebody in trouble. I'm married and got 3 kids now, and I don't want to get in trouble. I try to think who I wouldn't get in trouble telling a story on, too. Give me a little bit to think about that one. Because all my stories I always tell everybody, if I ever retire and I'm never going to be involved in the wrestling business again, I'm going to write a book, and I guarantee you I got some stories to tell. But yeah, give me a little bit to think about that, and I'll try to come up with one that I know won't get nobody no heat.
Fair enough. So, what do you think about that? So, we always ask anybody who comes on here, we always ask them, is there anything that your fans don't know about you? Is there any kind of like fun facts that maybe someone doesn't know about you, like a hobby or something that you do in your free time?
No. I've always been pretty well an open book. So, yeah. All my fans, if you was a fan of mine and you come and introduced yourself to me, there's a chance that you become on a personal level. I always connected with my fans. So, yeah, I love my fans. But I tell you, I was thinking, and I got a road story for you. Me and Madman Pondo at the time when I was doing deathmatch wrestling, Pondo was driving, and he had a little escort, Ford Escort, and we were traveling through West Virginia to Parkersburg, West Virginia, for a guy named Richard Arthur. And I guess Pondo was speeding or something, but I'll never forget, the sheriff in some small town pulls us over. And of course, like I said, I didn't always live right. The chances was I'd been drinking or something. I'm not saying I was. But anyway, so the laws, talk to us and everything. So he wants to examine the car. So we get out, and he's kind of going through the car, which we'd been practically living in the car on the road going from town to town. So it was, full of convenience store wrappers and everything. So he's kind of getting aggravated. I guess thought we was just some nasty flies. But anyway, so he gets around to the trunk. Has Pondo popped the trunk. Standing back there. He's going to our stuff. And he comes across the barbed wire baseball bat. And this cop pulls this barbed wire baseball bat out of the back of Pondo's car. And he looks down at it, and he looks at us. I mean, and you would think that he just found a nuclear bomb or something. And he looks at us, and he says, "What is this?" And, like I said, the chances of me being a little intoxicated was really good. And so, just trying to make light of the situation, I say to him, "Well, I'm from Big Bow, Kentucky, and I do a lot of rabbit hunting, and I like to give the rabbits a fair chance." and started laughing. Well, now, I'm telling you, this sheriff never cracked a smile. And he laid them bad. He didn't, but actually, I don't know how Pondo worked it out with him that we got to keep the bat, but he told us it had to be inside a golf club bag or something. It couldn't be where we could just reach out and grab it. But, you can just visualize the sheriff from a little old redneck town in West Virginia taking a hold of this barbed wire baseball bat that had probably been used in 50 or 60 matches, and it's got all this blood dried all over it, pieces of Pondo's long hair matted into the barbed wires, and it was kind of like that Walking Dead show back in the 90s, yeah. I don't know how I lived through any of it, buddy. The Lord was with me, even though I didn't know it. He was with me at the time, or I would have never made it through that adventure.
Oh, man. Well, if that's like the lighter side of your stories, I would hate to see the heavier side.
Oh yeah. That's just something not to incriminate. Oh yeah, I got some doozies, buddy. Like I say, if I ever write a book or decide to do a shoot interview, I mean it's going to be good. I promise you.
Oh man, well I'll have to pre-order that book. Right on. So, we're at the we're still in the beginning of the 2017 year. I mean, you can still get yourself into plenty of trouble this year, I'm sure. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But so since we're it's only April, I think it's April. Yeah, April. What are your goals for the rest of the year? I mean, 2017 is a big year so far. So
man, I got some big goals, planned, and I got this working deal with Fight now, so that that gives me the opportunity to run a little bigger shows, because I'm going to generate some revenue, off the pay-per-view buys. But yeah, like next month, May the 13th, I have a huge show right there in Rockwood, Tennessee. I got the Natural Chase Stevens, of TNA fame. He's formed a new tag team with Chris Thorne. They're called the Immortals. They're going against my MSWA tag team champions, the DMI boys. King Shane Williams is there. Eric Wayne, he's a third-generation wrestler, out of the Memphis area. Chris Michaels, he's a legend, around the South here in wrestling. Damian Wayne, I got some, a lot of top stars coming through. And yeah, it's looking really good. 2017 is looking really good. I bought a second ring and a cargo van to haul it with. Got some big plans. Things working with some rescues here in Tennessee. So, yeah, it should be a big year.
Absolutely. So, and I know you said that you don't necessarily wrestle a whole lot anymore, but I know you said that you still kind of dabble in every now and then. Do you have like a bucket list of guys you'd like to work with?
I never was. I just worked whoever they put me in the ring with. Like I said, with never being a wrestling fan, I really was never a mark for anybody, really. I never had no heroes or anything like that. I mean, all the guys was cool, and I always just figured them, just they was just like me, you know, and they was just trying to make it, and just like I was. But you know, in the shape I'm in now, man, when people, you know, I do a few legend shows and a lot of autograph signings, but mostly tag team matches, man. Just whole Memphis tag team matches. You know, all they got to do is hit me up on Facebook, and if we can get things right, yeah, I'm more willing to take, you know, a few bookings here and there, just, you know, tag team bookings, doing this Memphis style wrestling.
Right on. Well, so before we wrap this up, I have just a couple
It's
more things
May
for you. But
13th
first of all, when's the next
at the
MSWA
Rockwood National
event?
Guard Armory in Rockwood, Tennessee. The doors open at 6 p.m. and the bell time 7:30.
All right. So before I ask you about your social medias and where people can find you, so Dave Dynasty is the main host of our podcast.
Yeah, I've known Dave
So-
for that. So I guess since Dave started in the wrestling business, I've known him that long, I guess, yeah.
Well, and you said you worked with Jerry
Yeah,
Wilson, right,
yeah,
at
yeah.
HBW. So that means, yeah.
Yeah.
So that probably means that you've been in the ring with Dave Dynasty and worked with him probably years ago.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he's got some Ox Harley stories. Seems like everybody's got a few Ox Harley stories. Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, so I gotta know how. I don't know if you remember or not, but I don't know what was that like working with Dave back then?
You know, like I say, it was, you know, there was a lot of it was a blur. You know, because, you know, I drank and smoked a lot and acted like I shouldn't have. And, but, you know, from what I remember, hey, Dave was a good guy, eager to learn. I helped run a few of Joey's wrestling classes a few times. And I'm not sure if Dave was in them, but, you know, a few of the other guys was, like Donnie Idol and Cousin Cooter. There's a few I remember, you know, that stands out from that area. Actually, Jerry Wilson's contacted me several times, you know, about coming back and maybe going into this Hall of Fame or something, but he runs usually, you know, the same Saturdays that I have my shows on, so, you know, we haven't ever been able to get together to make that happen. But yeah, I loved up there in Columbus, Indiana, where Dave's from and everything. It was a great time. I had you know, like I said, I was up there for over 10 years, so I had a lot of good times in that town.
Oh, I bet. Well, all right. So I think that's all I got for you today. But before I let you go, do you have any social medias where people can follow you and also your
Man,
promotion,
all I really
MSWA?
have is, you know, I told everybody I just now graduated out of the flip phone. My wife finally got me a smartphone. I'm not very computer literate, but you know, there is a Facebook page, MSWA Pro Wrestling. Just go give it a like. I keep it updated pretty frequently, and I'll tell you everything there is to know about MSWA Pro Wrestling. That's my baby now. That's what I got to take care of. So.
Well, all right. So thank you so much, Ox, for coming on here, talking to me, and just letting me pick your brain a little bit. You know, I really appreciate talking to anybody who's got as much experience as you. It's always interesting.
Yeah, well,
it's
I
always
wish
fun to hear
I-
stories.
I told you a lot more, but like I said, just about anything I tell you would incriminate somebody. You know, and I don't need the heat right now. So yeah, yeah.
Well, then maybe one day down the road, we can do an interview with you.
Yeah. We
inside
might do
scoop.
some. Yeah. We'd have to probably get me a case of beer. Yeah, but yeah, we can work on that someday. Yeah, we can work on that someday.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ox. It's been a legitimate pleasure and a legitimate honor. But thank you so much, everybody. Go check out his Facebook page, the MSWA. Go watch the show. Go watch all his shows. Go see if you can find a show on the IPPV, and just support pro wrestling, support independent wrestling. But thank you so much, Ox. It was a legitimate pleasure, man.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. Well, take care. See you later.
All right, buddy.
Come crack open a cold one and let Old Manser tell you a story.
King of Big Dog Style, Larriton Light Beer, the king of the trailer court, your favorite wrestler of mine, me.
This is Warner's Wisdom with Mance Warner.
All right, people, here we go. Another edition of Warner's Wisdom right here with your favorite wrestler of mine, me, Old Manser. Now bear with me here, people. I gotta apologize to you. My throat's a little beat up. I could barely talk. I was informed I may have to go to the same doctor the old Ricky the Dragon Steamboat went to, and when Savage messed his throat up and he couldn't talk either. It ain't as bad as Ricky's, but it's getting there. I could barely talk, people. Well, I've already touched on that subject. I might as well go into and explain to you what occurred at a recent IWA Mid-South show. Old Mancer, the king of big dog style, the master of the pop-up headbutt. Oh, Mr. What? I could barely say. Wackadoo. The Southern Psycho, medium-sized man beast, Larry to light beer. I got so many beautiful nicknames right now. Anywho, Old Mancer was scheduled on that night to get an IWA Mid-South Heavyweight Championship matchup with the King of Dayton, Dave Christ. It was going to be Dave Christ defending his title against Old Mancer. Now, what occurred before that match could take place, all the people bought their tickets. They came out there. They wanted to see Old Mancer and Dave go at it for the IWA World Heavyweight title. Didn't get to happen because Big Ray Waddell, my former tag team partner, came running out there, got into it with Old Mancer. We're going back and forth, swinging, punching, headbutting. Rick Brady jumps in there, distracts Old Mancer. Big Ray runs over, hits me with a big old forearm right in the throat. Hit my chin, hit my throat. I was that cold. Rolled out of the ring. He followed me out there, put my head on a chair, smashed me with a chair, beat me down with a chair, put me out of commission. Didn't get my title shot. Old Mancer gonna get that title shot at some point. But I thought I'd give you a little backstory on why Old Mancer sounds the way he does. Now, back to the matter at hand here. This is another edition of Warner's Wisdom right now on the Dave Dynasty Show. Best part of the Dave Dynasty Show. Dave pretty good, but Old Mancer bring the heat, baby. Bring the wackadoos. Now, yesterday, Old Mancer made his tans, sold his t-shirts, sold his 8x10s. Go Pro Wrestling Tees, get a Mancer t-shirt now. Mance Warner, Larryton Light Beer, beautiful t-shirt, real cool. You like it, you can wear it out in town, wear it to family functions, wear it to church. I'm a God-fearing man. Wear it to church, it's cool, man. Now, Old Mancer made his show, made his tan, got his payday, hit the pay window, hit the road, pulled over in my truck, slept in a parking lot at a Menards, woke up, made it home. Here we are. Today is a great day. This is Mancer's one of his favorite holidays. Easter. It's a great time. You get to drink your light beers, have a good time, get to be around the family. People, you should sit down and cherish them moments. Good times out there. Old Mancer giving you a little wisdom right here. The only thing that I do hate about Easter is Old Mancer hates one thing about Easter. The Easter Bunny. Mancer despises, I can't stand him, the Easter Bunny. Now, I'm going to tell you why. I ain't going to leave you on a cliffhanger and then make you tune in next week. Even though Mancer could barely talk, I'm still on this podcast that's going to go on the Instagram, so it's going on the Grammar, it's going on the Twitter, it's going on the SoundCloud, going on the YouTuber, probably going on to MySpace too. Wherever it goes, I want you people share it, like it, retweet it, tag it, and tell the world Old Mancer is looking for the Easter Bunny. I hate his guts. Now let me tell you why, because I said it ain't going to be a cliffhanger, but Old Mancer goes off on tangents, and then sometimes I forget what I was talking about, because today is Easter. Mancer been having his light beers, been having a good time. Now, first, there's a beautiful picture on Instagram and the Facebook of Mancer today. Out here during Easter. Got a beautiful poncho on. Got a beautiful cowboy hat on. Got a shotgun in my hand. And I got some Jameson. Now, it's usually my light beers. I did drink some light beers today. But I also have my Jameson. And I ain't talking about the Bushwhackers manager, Buddy Jameson. That weirdo. That creep. I hate him too. I don't hate him as much as the Easter Bunny, though. I'm sending her right back to my original story there. See how it's done? That's what we do on the podcast. See, makes it pretty good what he does. Give you a little bit of this, a little bit of that, back to this. Boom, we're here. Go like that picture, though. Go look at that picture. Mancer going to be selling those pictures of shows coming up. Beautiful picture. Real nice, real nice. Now, the reason old Mancer hates the Easter Bunny. Old Mancer love Puerto Rico. Y'all know it. I love the Puerto Rican ladies. I love going down to Puerto Rico, getting to wrestle. I love staying down there for an extended amount of time. My goodies are cheap. My light beer never ever got to pay for those. They just give them to me. Hotel rooms ain't that nice, but, you know, whatever. Old Mancer does what he does, has a good time. You don't need to be in your hotel room anyway unless you're sleeping or getting down to business. Now, so old Mancer's in Puerto Rico. Down there doing my shows, hitting the pay window, having a good time, throwing some headbutts, hitting that pop-up headbutt, hitting big boots, hitting my lariats, hitting whatever I want to do, baby, because when I'm in the ring, Mancer is taking control. Now, while I'm down there, they come up to me. Booker Man come up to old Mancer and say, tonight we're going to do something a little special. We're going to have Mancer step in the ring. And he looks at me dead in my eyes. And he waits. He does like a dramatic pause. And he's pitching it to me like old Vinnie Mac used to. Then he goes, against the Easter Bunny. Now, to this day, I don't know if it was the real Easter Bunny or if it was a man under a mask. Because if he was under a mask, he never took that mask off. He'd never communicate with me. He wouldn't talk to old Mancer. So Mancer goes out there, get to the ring. They throwing batteries at me. They throwing little jugs filled with piss. They throwing water balloons filled up with piss. It's a blow my mind. Someone going to take their time to fill up a water balloon with some piss and throw batteries at a man. It don't make no sense, but good Lord, they love wrestling in Puerto Rico. So old Mancer gets in the ring. Here come the Easter Bunny. We tore the house down. Old Mancer and the Easter Bunny went to a 30-minute time limit draw. We both got color. We both hit all kinds of ridiculous moves and sick bumps to the outside. The fans were on their feet the whole time. They lost their mind. So as the Easter Bunny and old Mancer went backstage, I still hated his guts. I don't know if he liked me. He would never communicate with me. But old Mancer and the Easter Bunny started drinking some light beers. Then we moved over to the Jameson. Then the fanny pack came out. Me and Easter Bunny had our goodies. He pulled out some Easter eggs, cracked them Easter eggs open. Goodies in there too. And I thought the Easter Bunny pretty cool in my book at this point. I don't got no heat with the Easter Bunny. The Easter Bunny ain't got no heat with me. We're having a good time. We both brought our goodies to the table. We got the light beers. We got the Jameson. Had a good time. No issues. Until later on, when I was told that the Easter Bunny had done a RF video shoot and buried old Mancer. Talked all kinds of shit about old Mancer. All kinds of shit about old Mancer. Now, a couple years ago, Mancer was in a battle royal, and the Easter Bunny was in there. So I charged upon the Easter Bunny. I hit him with the barrage of big boots, wackadoos, headbutts. I picked up the Easter Bunny. I chucked him out the ring. And I thought this was it. I'd finally got my revenge on this piece of shit Easter Bunny. But as he tumbled down upon the floor, there was no mat there. He hit his head. His body was stiff. It was as if old Mancer had finally got his revenge and killed the Easter Bunny. I looked down into his eyes, and I had so much joy in me, so much happiness. Old Master was the happiest man in the world on that day. But as I looked at his eyes, I realized it wasn't the same eyes I had seen before in Puerto Rico. Because this Easter Bunny was a phony. He was a fake. His old mask came right off of him, rolled right off. And there laid just some punk referee that owed me $10. It wasn't a real Easter Bunny. Master still ain't got his revenge on the Easter Bunny from back in Puerto Rico. And then went to the RF video and he talked all that shit about me on there. Buried me. So every year when Easter comes, old Master has a hell of a time like I do every day. Because I'm the man. Master's the man and you know it. I know it. And the Easter Bunny knows it too. So every Easter, Master has a good time, shoot some guns, get liquored up, drink my light beers. I appreciate today, but in the same sense, I'm still waiting to get my revenge on the Easter Bunny. So if anybody knows the whereabouts, sound like an episode of Unsolved Mysteries, don't it? It's a good thing I'm wearing my duster right now, and there's smoke everywhere. So, anywho, old Master is still waiting. One of these Easters, he gonna catch up with the Easter Bunny. I'm gonna put the boots to him. I'm gonna lay him out, hit him with a wackadoo, hit him with a pop-up headbutt, put him in a dragon sleeper, roll him over, rip his ears off, gouge his eyes out, throw one of my t-shirts on him. After I force him to spend $20 for it. Because Easter Bunny owe me money, but you don't see me going on RF video burying him, talking shit. That ain't Master's way, baby. So anywho, that's all I got right now. I'm getting too worked up, it's too late. Just having a good time, still having a good time. Gotta use them coping skills, people. Gotta get my mind right. Get out that negativity right there. Don't Master talking about the Easter Bunny. I still hate him. He hates me. At some point I get him. Everybody knows it. Old Master come back. It's still going up that ladder. Vinnie Mac? Old Master comeback is coming, baby. Ain't no one gonna stop me. No Easter Bunny. Santa Claus ain't gonna stop me. He tried. I took him out. Okay, it is what it is, people. There's been another edition of Warner Wisdom on here from your favorite wrestler of mine. Me. Old Master. Larry to Lightbeer. The Southern Psycho. Out here saying adios to y'all. Until next time, next week. Old Master. Gotta go back to having a good time, people. Y'all have a good time. Enjoy that Easter. You won't hear this on Easter. You'll hear it after. But just remember, Easter Bunny, your ass is mine, baby. I'm coming for you. Until then, see y'all. Have a good one. Be safe. Old Master rules, baby.
Visit our friends at the Masked Republic. Go to luchaloot.com and luchashop.com and use the promo code DYNASTY for exclusive discounts.
And welcome back to the Dave Dynasty Show. Once again, this is Dave Dynasty. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Ox Harley. Hope you are a little wiser after hearing the tales from Mance Warner. And like we said before, make sure you join us on Wednesday with the next installment in our Legends of Indiana Wrestling with Hustler Rip Rogers. He is always an entertaining guy, one of the greatest minds ever in the wrestling business. So you definitely do not want to miss that. But once again, however you listen to us, whether it's iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, please make sure you subscribe, follow, like, comment, and share. Rate and review us on iTunes. We appreciate it. It helps. You guys are the best. That's all we got for this week. We're going to get out of here. Like I said, we get the bonus episode coming Wednesday. Check that out. Until then, I am Dave Dynasty. Be good, be safe, and keep on growing. Goodbye.